Joining me now is Steve Thompson, who's conjuring up a great new tabletop gaming drop-in center called the Wizards Workshop. Steve, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, what's this gaming drop-in? Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, it's an idea that came up about a year ago. About six or 8 months ago, something like that. I just finished the social service worker program at St. Lawrence College, and me and a few other people got together that are in the community and had a conversation about what was kind of missing in the city. I have 3 children. They're 16, 15, and 9. God, how old is my youngest? Anyways, but we found out that what I've found that is that they're not really sports oriented. They're not into the competitive sports. So if my kids aren't into that and they're into the gaming aspect of things, they like to play games more. And I like to play games. I'm not really excessively active either, but I do like the role playing. So what we figured out was that if we're in that boat, and with the success of all of the different organizations around here that are in that genre, that we could develop a center, a drop-in center for kids to come and play. Basically come in, sit down and play. But to level the playing field so that when it's a kid who's suffering from social isolation, that doesn't enjoy that kind of sport, competitive sport, that it gives them something to do after school as well.
So whenever we're saying games, is it board games, or what type of board games is it actually?
So it's tabletop and role playing. Really it's not so much the Monopoly and the sorry games. It's more of the more strategy and the cooperative play games that we're looking at, like Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and Magic the Gathering and those type of games where the people that are playing them have to imagine themselves in a different role, and they have to use strategy, and they have to develop leadership skills if they're working in a team. So they have to be able to be followers as well as leaders. So they have to be able to put themselves in those different positions.
And that's really great. It's interesting that you mentioned before this. It's a great place for people that might not be as into team sports or athletics. So how does this really benefit someone? I know you mentioned leadership, but how does something like this help?
Well, if you imagine yourself, the entire gaming system is based off imagination. So it's the roles that you believe to put yourself in. So with Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, it's you, a book, a piece of paper, and a set of dice. So there's no extra equipment required. When you have to use your imagination to build your character, to pretend you're somebody you're not, it becomes a way of escaping from reality, much like video gaming, except for you have to interact with the other people. So, and that's kind of what we're going for, is putting a program together that really encourages that interaction between the people to sit down and play. So to that end, we've actually developed it as a very inclusive program where we want everybody to be able to come in, at least 12 and up, just because there's liability issues for under 12, but they can come in with a parent. So we can have everybody come in, sit down, play, and just basically have a good time. The oath that everybody has to take as a member, it's going to be a membership program. But the oath that you have to take as a member is, I solemnly swear I am here to have fun.
So that's great. And while I'm not super familiar with a lot of the role-playing games, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I see that you have your hat on, and that oath kind of is in line, and the Wizards Workshop. So how did that all come into play?
In 1996, which was not yesterday, we actually had a club in Nova Scotia that I played at, and we had 200 members there that would do live-action role-playing, and we would play Magic the Gathering, and we had tables that would set up so that we could play Warhammer 40K. And we had all of these people that would come in, and they would pay $10 a month just to come in and play games. And it turned out to be a fantastic way to do it. We didn't really have any structure to the program. It was just everybody would come in and play whatever they wanted to play. But it gave people a safe space to go to. And that's what we're looking at doing here is, a zero tolerance, no bullying, no drugs, no alcohol, but to have a safe space for people to come and play.
That's great, and I feel like Cornwall could really benefit from something like that. So What stage are you at, and are you like raising money, or what is your next step?
Well, right now we're in the very preliminary stages. Our registration is at the Ministry of Finance as charity, but we are accepting donations. We've gotten a lot of furniture donations so far. We have about 50 or 60 tables or chairs and a bunch of different tables that we have. We're looking for games, and of course we're looking for a space that we're able to use for this kind of a facility. We have a couple of places in mind, but what we need help with the most right now is finding the money to pay for the space. So right now nobody's taking a salary, nobody's getting paid to do this. It's just providing the service to our youth because it's the right thing to do for them.
It's definitely the right thing to do, and as we've mentioned throughout this, it's definitely something that can really help a lot of people. So if someone wants more information, wants to contribute money, or even just to find out more, how can they do so?
Well, we have our website, which is wizwork.ca, and we have our Facebook page where we do all of our announcements and everything that's kind of going on there. Of course, we share little tidbits of what's happening in the community, in the role-playing community. So that's pretty much the best way. And of course, we have a phone number that people can call.
That's great. Well, I mean, this sounds like so much fun, and I hope that one day this all comes together and we can actually play a board game together.
That would be awesome.
So, well, thank you so much for being here, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.